Welcome back to Switched to Linux. Well, today we're going to talk about some upcoming proposals in the rulemaking from the FTC. And the reason I'm doing this as a standalone is as a practical example. I'm going to show you today that you cannot close a Wix account. So if you need reasons to avoid Wix, consider this as your warning. If some fool comes up to you and says, let's use Wix, fire him immediately and find somebody who's a competent person and not a retard. So I'm going to show you what the problem is here in just a moment. First, let's go ahead and have a look at this release. So this is March 23rd, 2023. And this deals with how difficult it oftentimes is to cancel recurring subscriptions, memberships, because in this country, people are getting all sorts of fun loopholes to closing out memberships, and it's becoming a big problem here. So in light of this coming in, I actually just filed a complaint with the FTC against Wix, and we'll see if that turns into anything, because as of right now, I'll tell you what steps we took. First, let me go ahead and give you the rule, and then I'm going to give you the background on what's going on here, and then I'm going to show you the practical example of what's going to go on here. So, first and foremost, here is the new rule proposals. Federal Trade Commission today proposed a click-to-cancel provision requiring sellers to make it easy for consumers to cancel their enrollment as it was to sign up. That is just one of several significant updates the Commission is proposing to its rules regarding subscriptions and recurring payments. The new click-to-cancel provision, along with other proposals, would go a long way to rescuing consumers from seemingly never-ending struggles to cancel unwanted subscription payment plans, from everything from cosmetics to newspapers to gym memberships. Quote, some businesses took too often trick... Well, let me restart that sentence. Some businesses too often trick consumers into paying for subscriptions they no longer want or didn't sign up for in the first place, said FTC Chair Lena Mem Khan. Is that related to Genghis Khan? Should we be feared here? The proposed rule would require that companies make it as easy to cancel a subscription as it is to sign up for one. The proposal would save customers time and money, and businesses that continued to use subscription tricks and traps would be subject to stiff penalties. Notice of proposed rulemaking announced as part of the FTC's ongoing review of its 1973 negative option rule, which the agency uses to combat unfair or deceptive business practices relating to subscriptions, memberships, and other recurring payment programs. These programs are widespread in the marketplace and can provide substantial benefit to both consumers and businesses, but they become problematic when marketers fail to make adequate disclosures, bill consumers without their consent, or make cancellation either difficult or impossible, such as by requiring customers to cancel subscription in person or keeping them stuck on hold waiting to talk to customer service. Each year, FTC receives thousands of consumer complaints about such practices. Here's the current patchwork of laws to the FTC do not provide customers and industry with a consistent legal framework. Accordingly, the proposal would make several specific changes, including implementing a simple cancellation mechanism. If consumers are unable to easily leave the program when they want to, the negative option feature becomes nothing more than a way to continue charging them for products they no longer want. To address the issue, the proposed rule would require businesses to make it at least as easy to cancel a subscription as it was to start it. For example, if you can sign up online, you must be able to cancel on the same website in the same number of steps. New requirements before making additional offers. This rule would allow sellers to pitch additional offers or modifications when a customer tries to cancel their enrollment, but before making such pitches, sellers must first ask consumers whether or not they want to hear them. In other words, the seller must take a no for an answer. Upon hearing a no, must immediately implement the cancellation process. So you can't call them up and then be sent over to the customer retention and be on hold for another 10 minutes. All right, number 3, new requirement regarding reminders and confirmations. Proposed rule would require sellers to provide an annual reminder to consumers enrolled in negative option programs involving anything other than physical goods before they are automatically renewed. The commission vote approving publication of the notice of the proposal rulemaking was 3-1, with Commissioner Christine Wilson voting no. That person needs removed from the board. Whoever this person is, they're a moron. Chair Khan issued a separate statement in which she was joined by Commissioners Rebecca Kelly Slaughter and Olivia Beda. What is this? We have Khan and Slaughter in the FTC? Man, things are getting brutal. All right. Commissioner Wilson issued a dissenting statement. Once the notice has been published in the Federal Register, can we even want to read this dissenting statement? I'm going to flip through that. That's just like, what possibly is your viewpoint? Yes, I think it's good because once a business has hooked you onto the hook, that you should be able to only get off it with an amount of pain. All right. Here's the dissenting statement by Christine Wilson. Today, the commissioner announced a notice of proposed rulemaking suggesting modifications to the consumer's rule concerning use of pre-notification negative option plans. The commission first sought to comment on amendments to this rule in advance notice of proposed rulemaking, published October 2019. In that time, the commission explained the abuses in negative option marketing persisted despite the commission's active enforcement. The existing negative option rule covers a narrow category of negative option marketing, pre-notification, negative option plans. Other types of negative options are featured by other statutes or rules enforced by the Commission, and deceptive practices in connection with negative options have been challenged under Section 5 of the FTC Act. Commission noted that ANPR that differing requirements in this commission's varied statutes, rules, and Section 5 enforcement actions did not provide a consistent cohesive framework for enforcement and other business guidance. The commission proposed expanding the negative option rule to synthesize a legal requirement within one rule. I supported seeking comment of the proposal because clarity with respect to regulatory requirements benefits consumers and businesses. The proposed rule the Commission announces may achieve the goal of synthesizing the various requirements in one rule, but also sweeps in far more conduct than previously anticipated. The broadened scope of the rule would extend far beyond the negative option abuses cited in the ANPR and far beyond the practices for which the rulemaking record supports the prevalence of unfair or deceptive practices. In fact, the rule would capture misrepresentations regarding the underlying product or service as wholly unrelated to the negative options. For this reason, I dissent. Okay, so that's the reason. The rule would capture misrepresentations regarding the underlying product. How? That does not make any sense to me. Someone explain this to me like I'm a 3-year-old. The comments received in response to the consumer complaints and Commission's enforcement actions demonstrate the abuses and negative option marketing persists despite our active enforcement in this area. Some marketers misrepresent or fail to disclose clearly or even existence of negative option features, failure to obtain customers' express informed consent to recurring charges, failure to provide a simple mechanism to cancel and or engage in activities designed to frustrate consumers' ability to cancel. I agree that these issues are prevalent in the market. The scope of a proposed rule is not confined to negative option, also covers any misrepresentation made about the underlying good or service sold with a negative option. Notably, as drafted, the rule would allow the Commission to obtain civil penalties or customer redress under Section 19 of the FTC Act if a marketer using negative option made misrepresentations regarding product efficiency or other material fact. Okay, so this person is saying, I don't like this rule because the FTC could take legal action against people who misrepresent their product. Okay, then. Am I reading that wrong? I might be reading that wrong. Who knows? In connection with promoting or offering any sale of good or service with a negative option feature, it is a violation of rule and Unfair Deceptive Practices Act or practice in violation Section 5 of the Federal Trade Commission Act for any negative option seller to misrepresent expressly or by implication any material fact related to the transaction, such as negative option feature or any material fact related to the underlying good or service. The notice confirms the scope of the provision is intended to extend beyond the terms of the negative option Specifically, notice explains the proposed rule prohibits any person from misrepresenting expressly or implicitly any material fact regarding the entire agreement, not just facts related to the negative option feature. Yeah, any form of misrepresentation should probably be frowned upon. Very interesting. You should be able to find that. Actually, let's see. I'll leave a link to that down below if I can. We're not going to read all 5 pages of a single-space PDF here on a dissenting view. I'm going to give you, see, these guys here are fighting back and forth between, the little nitpickies of little things. I'm going to show you here in a real-world example what the actual problem is and why I completely support this. As they are summarizing it, and if it goes well beyond these 3 summarized points, okay, I'm in agreement. Maybe we need to discuss that. But these 3 summarized points: a simpler cancellation mechanism, new requirements before making offerings, and new requirements regarding reminders and confirmations. In other words, you know how many people are still being billed for AOL? Literally, America Online still has a subscription base. And I'm willing to bet a good portion of those people don't even know they're still paying for it. All right. And that's one of the factors, is that every time a monthly renewal comes up or an annual renewal comes up, you need to have a reminder of that renewal. I mean, I get that with my LLC. I pay a company to keep my LLC data private. There's a privacy company, and they give me like 2 months notice that the renewal's coming. So I'm well aware of it in advance. I can cancel it. I can pay it early. I can just let it auto renew, whatever. And that's good business. But these guys, I don't know, man, they're doing a bad. So let me go ahead and get into this. Of course, we're dealing with Wix. And I've told people a long time, do not, under any circumstance, use Wix. As a longtime professional web developer, Wix is poison on the internet. Okay, they started, of course, as Flash sites, and they never really went to true mobile responsive when Flash died. They end up having desktop and then a mobile switcher of sites that all just kind of suck. They are excessive with their code. They don't work really well, and they are ungodly expensive. We'll get into how expensive they actually are here. It turns out that in the period they ran this site, I don't know exactly how long it is, it's over $2,000 they paid for web hosting services. And we're going to go ahead and get into some of this. So do not use Wix, but here I'm going to show you the practical example of why the FTC wants to do this. I am used to doing online stuff, and after 2 hours, I cannot cancel this, I cannot close the account, I cannot delete the credit card, and I cannot contact them. That's it. I'm going to show you the issues. So, first thing they do when you want to close your Wix account is you have to go in. You can close your Wix account if you're sure you no longer need it. Closing your account is not the same as canceling a premium plan. If you wish to retain access to your site but cancel your plan, you can do so and continue to use the free version. All right. If you're using the free, skip directly to 3. Now, these guys, so let me give you the background here. This is a church I visited, and it being a really nice church, really great, nice people. They knew I was a web developer, and they asked me to do a consult on their site. They had 2 separate sites out. One of them was built in a platform that I use regularly. The other one is in Wix. I did a full site audit of everything, and I said, I recommend you kill the Wix site, redirect everything over to the other sites. Use those ones because they're based on free and open source software, and we can easily move them if we need to. And so they agreed that that was the best thing to do. So we began a few-month process of migrating all of the content, bolstering up the free and open source site, getting everything exactly where we wanted it, transferring all the domains away. We'll get to that in a moment. And then final step is to kill the Wix account. So what we're going to do here is we have to go in here to delete it. So step 1, remove all premium plans and services from your account. In order to close a Wix account, the account must have no active services or subscriptions in association with it. If you have active services, you need to cancel these subscriptions and wait for them to expire. Alternatively, you can transfer your services to another Wix account. Okay, so literally first step, I want to close my account. You have to cancel the subscriptions and wait for them to expire. There's no option to say, you put this up really easy, we're done with it, click the button and close. Okay? They talk about canceling a domain. Number 1, cancel your premium subscriptions. Cancel each service you have in your account. Premium plans, domains, mailbox, app separately. To cancel your services, go to premium, click the more icon, and click cancel plan, domain, mailbox, app. Okay, so cancel plan. This is not an option. It's not there. I'm going to show you that in a few moments. Option 2, transfer your premium sites and services. So if you want to migrate them, merge 2 Wix accounts together, do that. And 3, transfer your domains. So we had 2 domains in the account. We transferred both domains out of there. Remove any additional domains from your account. We did all of that. And then move all of your sites to the trash. So that's why when we got up here, it says no sites, create your first site, because we moved all of the sites in the trash. So we've moved all the sites in the trash. We've migrated all the domains out of there. We've moved those to completely different domain registrars. We have deleted everything. And now the option is we want to get in there and get rid of the account. You can't. Okay, here is your billing history. So with the billing history, they started this in 2018 and they're only going to pay up to 2022. So in 4 years, 2018 to 2022, they paid 300, 150, 95, 219, 154, 219, 154, 102, 348, 48, 47, 48, 33, and 168. They have paid over $2,000 in 4 years for hosting an extraordinarily small, very simple brochure-type website. They had email systems that were never set up and used. Nobody even knows the password for this account. Nobody knows what the services are in here. Nobody knows. So you get over to payment methods, and no option to delete. Under actions, you can manage permissions. You can update the payment method, but you can't do anything else. It says 5 active premium subscriptions. Here's your 5 active premium subscriptions. Okay, so here's your 5 active subscriptions. Let's hit your manage all subscriptions, and guess what you find? There's only 3 of them. There's not 5. There's 3. Where are the other 2? Pull this guy down. There's no cancel. Now, there's an auto renew turned off. I hit the button to turn off auto renew. But here's the last invoice. Auto renews June 29th or July 29th. So in theory, we should be able to delete the account at the end of July. That's what they're saying. But we don't want that. We want to delete it right now. We want the full confidence that we're not going to accidentally get charged. We want to delete the credit card from here, and there is no option to do that. I can update the payment method. I can assign this to a site. I can change the billing cycle. I can turn on auto renew, or I can add new vouchers. I wonder what happens with change billing cycle. Oh, look at that. Page didn't load right. Your subscriptions didn't load because of a technical issue. Please reload the page. You can reload the page, add Infinitium. It always does that. It just goes back to here. So there's a lot of back-end technical stuff. So what I've done is I've tried to delete the information. The last thing I can try, it'll probably not work because I'll probably try and ping the card first. I can try putting a test credit card in because they'll pass basic verification. They just won't charge. I can attempt putting one of those in. There are actually valid credit card numbers that don't go anywhere. They're used for web design sandbox testing. I can actually get one of those and plug it in and see if it works. And then migrate everything over to there and have confidence and remove the old one. That's one thing I could do. But I don't know if that's going to work or not. So I wanted to go ahead and that's closing the account. Go down to account settings, and you'll see down here in account settings, to close your account, you must remove the remaining sites to trash. If you have any premium plans or domains, you'll need to cancel or transfer them first. There's no option down here. And if you come down here and you get down to step 4, of course, all of our subscriptions, we don't want anything anymore. Our trash cans are moved aside. There's the option to close your account. So once you hit your close your account, select a reason. Let's see, select other. Wix is horrible, and enter your password. And I actually had to reset their password so that we understood. I want to cancel my account, close the account, and it says you're about to close your account, and hit your close your account, and your account wasn't closed. To close your account, you must first go to your subscription page, cancel all your premium plans, and transfer them to a different account. Go to your subscription account, and now you are right back here again. These proposed FTC rules are going to make sure that when I want my account closed, I push the button and it closes. You see, we don't want a refund on any unused services. We don't want any of that. We want this account closed, and we want this account closed right stinking now. Period. This is why Wix sucks. This is why you should never, ever, ever, ever use this crappy service. And this is why these Federal Trade Commission rules must come into play. And whatever this dissenting moron has to say, this dissenting moron needs moved out of that office. This is not a position you vote on. This is a person who is appointed. And I'm not sure which one of these is Republican, which one is Democrat. My thought is this one's probably the Republican, since she dissented, and it's like, oh, the Democrats all say this, I have to say something different. Oh my God, because that's the way our current political system is working. Lord forbid we come together and do what might be best for the American people. But these FTC rules are being proposed. These need to pass because, my God, I need to come in here and close this stupid Wix account. Now, what did I do? Here's what I actually told them, the people of the church. I told them that they are not letting it close. They're not letting it do anything. So I told them to contact their bank who issues this card. And what I told them to do is to, I told them to make sure the bank blocks Wix from doing any transaction. And if it were my card, I would call up the bank, and I deal business with small banks. And so doing business with small banks, I talk to bankers and they know me pretty well. And I would say, look, I'm trying to close the account. They're not letting the account be closed. They're not letting me delete the card. I want you to, any Wix transaction, block it and mark it as fraud, and investigate it as fraud, and send an army of lawyers to Wix if they attempt to charge the card. That's what I would do. So if you are finding yourself stuck in a place like this, you can always call your bank and explain to them you are attempting to close an account. The account is not letting you close it. They're not letting you remove your information. And so you can explicitly mark your bank account to not allow a transaction from a certain company. So that is what I would advise you to do if you find yourself in this nonsense or some other nonsense or some gym membership or whatever else. Just say, nope, I intend to close it. They're not letting me. I'm therefore marking everything as do not process, and this is actual fraud, because I've alerted them the best that I can to close the account. So that is what my recommendation is. That is why these rules need to come about. And hopefully this has been a fun and informative video for you. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.